speaking. For those of you that are shy, you can always private message me a question. I will answer it without telling anyone who asked that question. So I just want to make sure you always feel safe and supported. So if you are watching this replay and you wish you were here, you can always direct message me and or show up here. Of course, it's always a safe space for you. Just a reminder, we are recording, so don't ask personal questions that you don't feel comfortable other members seeing. So I just want to throw that out there, because sometimes we have members that ask questions and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's not just us, it's going to be in the library after. So just want to throw that out. So in essence, you guys just ask me whatever questions. It could be about business, it can be about personal development. And then for those that are new, we also have a membership orientation. It's on the second Tuesday of every month. So I invite you to join me there as well. And if you want to watch the replay, it's at femcity.com/welcome. So we have it there too. So it kind of walks you through all the benefits and how to get started. All right. So anybody have any questions? And again, you can add it in the chat if you want. Christy's here from Miami. So great to see you, Christy, and Delia from Toronto. I saw Delia yesterday also in Toronto. So great to see you again. Anybody have any questions?
Sorry, I'm not video ready today, so that's why I'm off, but so great to see you again and everybody.
Yeah, it was so great giving you a hug yesterday, Delia.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, Christy. Wow, we have so many. Jen Pinto from Orlando. So good to see some of you. Hello. All right. So any questions you guys have, or anything you want me to talk about, or anything you want me to cover?
Hi, Violet. It's Tara.
Hey, Tara.
Hi. Sorry, my connection's not good, so my video and even the picture's not working. But you said something yesterday about taking full advantage of our membership. So I thought I'd pop in here too. And I was actually really surprised that you even had this, considering you've been up since 2 a.m. Oh my goodness. Yeah. But my question is, I keep getting like DMs on social media from people suggesting that we could be on like cover of magazines and things like that. But they're asking for like a lot of money. And so I know that you have done a lot of, you've been in a lot of publications, and I was just wondering if you could give us some extra guidance or like a refresh on how to go about getting more visibility in terms of like magazines, newspapers, things like that, PR basically.
Awesome. Yes. So I know which emails you're talking about. So I get them for publications, and then I also get them for podcasts. And so here's my advice. I would not pay for any features just yet. There's a lot of opportunity already out there, especially I know your brand, Tara, really well. So I think that you have a really good pitch, all the time. Like now you've got your nonprofit and you've got your daughter that started the nonprofit with you. So I would, you don't have to respond, because I think they're kind of like just spam emails that they just send out to, people that kind of fit the demographic. But remind me, are you a global member? I think you are, right?
So I was, and then I wasn't taking advantage of the membership. So I moved back to just a regular member, but it is something that I was considering kind of joining back up again.
Okay. So just because I was going to refer, there's a class that I taught for global members on like how to get into newspapers and magazines. But I'll review it here for you guys as well. And I think there's some in the library also that I taught maybe like last year. A couple of sources that I would reach out to. So definitely sign up for the emails with Help a Reporter Out. The acronym is HARO. That's going to give you a lot of really great leads. The other one is Quoted, QWOTED. That's another one. They have a free and a paid service. I actually did the paid service to see if it was like any difference. And I didn't really see any difference at all, except that you get the alerts a little bit faster. But Quoted is another great tool that I would definitely use. And then the third thing that I would do is I would look to see where your demographics are hanging out. So I know your brand. So I would say parenting magazines, parenting websites, and I would get familiar with their editors. And I would get engaged and active within those communities and reach out to those editors, and you can even say, wow, I really liked that piece that you did about mother-daughters as an example. I'd love to share, this pitch. Here's my tip. Journalists right now are overwhelmed and underpaid. And so when you do your pitch, I would almost write it for them. As an example, like 4 years ago, I was in Success Magazine, and the pitch was how to deal with haters. And I literally wrote the entire article, and then they just kind of added it to the magazine, and they added the contributor who I kept in touch with. So I'm constantly like, I like her things on LinkedIn. I follow her on Twitter. So you definitely want to not only reach out to them like one time, but you want to have them so they see your name over and over again. Because what will happen is you will pitch them, or they will release something and you're a good fit for it. When you pitch it, your name will look familiar to them, and they won't really remember why, but it'll bump you up in the familiarity. They'll go ahead and reach out to you. Once you start getting into publications, definitely create an as seen on your webpage. Let me share my screen with you so you guys can see what I'm talking about, because I'm a visual person, so I kind of need to see things like in my face before like I can like see what I'm talking about. But this is my personal website. And if you go to press, it has all of my press pieces in here. And the reason why I do this is because when I pitch, and I still have to add some publications. I just moved over to this website, so I have to add some new ones, but it will show my authority, right? They'll know like I'm not a fly by night. They'll know that I have like a really good reputation because I've been featured in all these magazines. So as you start getting into the publications, definitely post it on your personal webpage or on your as seen on your brand, and then also post it on social media and tag the writer and tag the publication. That will help them so much. Their editors will like, wow, that's so great. You featured Tara and we got so many clicks and we got so many likes. They're going to reach out to you to do more because they know that you have a really good following, and also that you are going to keep on promoting that article, which helps their clicks, which helps their views, which helps their ads and their revenue. So does that help?
Yes, thank you so much. That was awesome. Thank you.
Good. Yay. I love that. I could talk about that all day. So I love seeing you guys in newspapers and magazines. It fills my cup. All right, go ahead, Jordana.
Okay. So I know I'm new, so you don't know what I do, but I organize people's homes. I've been doing that for 12 years full time. But I've always been a one person thing. I've hired a few friends here and there to like work on bigger jobs. I kind of have 2 questions. Like I'm 42 now. I've been doing this since I'm 30. My body is not able to continue to do all the things that heavy lifting and all this stuff. I really should have hired people years ago. How do you get over like your baby being like, it's like yours, you know, and like having people like do something that's so personal with people? Cause I work hand in hand with them and teach them. I don't go in and just put pretty I call it Band-Aid organizers. They're boutique organizers where you make it look pretty. I do that. That's like the last part. But I really work with people and teach them a lifestyle organization. So it's really more personal. So I have a hard time I'm also a control person. So I have a hard time of really hiring someone who is not someone I personally know really well. Because I've hired a few people I know well, and they're just kind of in it for a quick thing. I want somebody who really is in it, like with the heart and passion that I have for it. And then being responsible for like those hours. Like I've been a single mom all this time. I know I make enough to pay my bills. It's hard to be, it's stressful for me to think I have to support someone else. When my situation, my schedule fluctuates so much, because some people, they're in the predicament they're in with this disorganization because they're not able to follow through sometimes. So they cancel or this and that. I've never really had a major like financial cancellation policy where I charge them. And I also really want to get to the point of having residual income of like, I have so much in here, like workbook ideas and workshop ideas. I've taught some classes, like minimal, but like, I want to be able, everybody does it online now. Like, and people click and I've paid for things like, how do I jump into that part too? I know that's a lot. Sorry. It's my first time here.
No, listen, don't ever feel sorry. That's what I'm here for. And we all learn, by the way, like sometimes we ask questions and we're like, oh, it's just specific for me, but there are lessons for all of us to keep. So a couple things. What I just told Tara, like you need to sign up for Caro and Quoted, because they are always looking for organizers.
I took notes on that. Yeah.
So for sure do that, because that will really help get your brand out there. So here's the thing, what you're going through is totally normal. all women that I've only worked with women for like 30 years. So that's why I say women. We all go through that. So here's the mindset I want you to have. I want you to ask yourself, do you find joy in helping people get their lives organized? The answer is going to be
yes.
yes. Okay. So how powerful would it be if you could actually impact more people? It would fill your cup more, right?
Yeah, totally.
Okay. So when you impact more people, you can't do it on your own.
Mm.
You're gonna have to bring in some people. Your baby is your baby and it's great. And you're gonna have to bring in people to help you. When you bring in more people, it gives you time to step into your superhero genius, your zone of genius, which is that amazing talent and skill that you have. You have all this experience. So to have someone come in and have them mentor with you, and you don't have to hire someone full-time with benefits and insurance and all that stuff. You could just hire someone by the hour. You could just say, I'm really looking for people to come into my company and we're going to grow together. So you can offer bonuses, incentives. You can start with an hourly rate. Like for us, we pay $15 to $25 an hour for people that come in, and then we increase it. So you can create a really nice package where people that are just starting out, they love also organization, but they don't know how to do it. They have the same passion that you do, but they've never done it before. So you're going to mentor them, but they're also going to come in and expand your brand, because then you're going to have more time. I wrote down, you definitely have to have a cancel policy. So I would definitely work on that. Everyone has one. There's nothing wrong with it. It's someone honoring your time and you're honoring them. And you're also teaching them responsibility. That's part of organization, is that accountability, right?
So do I need to be like taking, like a lot of organizers I know in the past, they take cards ahead of time and they say, I'm only going to charge this certain amount if you're late or whatever. Like, and I guess I just need to just do that.
To see what others are doing. I'm not familiar with that industry specifically. Yeah. We do have a couple of Miami femmes that do that. So I'm happy to ask them at our next FemCity Miami event. But I would look to see, you know, the industry, you've been in there for a while, look to see what's the average. And then you can make it like, so it feels like you, right? Look at other people and you're like, oh my gosh, that's so hard, or that's so rough, or so whatever feels right for you. I wrote down class, like I was listening to you speak. I think for sure, and sorry, my allergies are such a mess right now in Toronto. I have sniffles. Definitely doing classes is really great. As you started talking, I was thinking you should definitely be doing a class. You can start doing them for themes. It's the holiday season.
Yeah.
Prepare.
I've got all that in here and written down. Like I know, I just need to do it.
Start with one.
Okay.
Just start with one. And so I gave you like 5 action steps. Just pick one. Whatever feels really good, start with that. Once you get that going, then add the other one. But you have the power to help so many other people.
Okay. You know? Thank you.
And go in that place. Whenever you start feeling like small and you start kind of feeling that narrative, think about, it fills my cup.
Okay.
It's like such a blessing that I can give to other women. You know, I need to step into this place. As uncomfortable as it is, I was the same way with FemCity. The first hire I did was my bookkeeper. I was like, oh my gosh, you know what I mean? Like, and I had heard, don't ever hire someone to do your number. You need to do your number. So I had all these narratives, but then I was able to release that and then add more sales to my goal and my role. And then I was able to release that. So as you hire more people, then you release more and more things, so that your ideal situation is you're always in that zone of genius.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. All right, let me see. There's a chat going on. All right. I think I had a question in here. Okay. So this is a private question. I'm pivoting my business as a marketing strategist to focus on self-published authors. I'm looking to create a membership. Do you have any tips when getting people into your membership when you have a newer brand instead of one that is already established? Anything to stay away from? So I would definitely work on just creating your community at first. So I've coached, I think that's my specialty, honestly. Like when I don't do one-on-one coaching anymore, but when I did, I helped women create membership programs and organizations. I would first focus on creating your community. And maybe you already have that, whether it's a Facebook one or on your webpage. I would just start getting people familiar with your expertise and your vibe and your energy, because then you're going to go ahead and pivot them into that membership. So as an example, with FemCity, we have women come through and they do our trial membership, right? So they just come in and they sign up. There's no pressure. You know, they can cancel at any time. It's only 30 days for free, and then they can upgrade to the monthly. But once they come in, that 30 days, they already have attended an event. They've already joined us on a virtual networking. Maybe they've joined us for this. They already know whether they're going to love it or not. And our rates are about 80 to 90% that they convert to a sale. When they become part of that, then they go ahead and say, okay, what other things are available? I love it so much. What other things are available? Sometimes they upgrade into a global membership. Sometimes they go ahead and say, I want to launch a FemCity chapter. Sometimes they go into our global retreats. Sometimes they go into our accountability program. That's, extra revenue for us. So once you get them in, you can then put them in different memberships. But the hardest part is getting that community going, that they go and say, you know what, I really love all that this woman is sharing. I want more. What else does she have? So that when you send out that membership, they're already going to bite. They're already in love with you. So I see a lot of people jump that. I see a lot of people just starting the membership. They don't get any traction because they haven't really nurtured that list. So again, I don't know the specifics. Maybe you already have that nurtured, but if you haven't, work on that, and then the monetization will happen, because you'll have people that say, I want more. Like the reason why we started doing our accountability program, because our members were like, I want more. The reason why we did our global membership or the program, because our members were like, I need more. I want more than just the local. The retreats, I want more. So they will tell you. And then when you create it, because they're telling you, it becomes very powerful. They've already sold it to themselves. So let me know privately if that helps you. And I'm happy to expand on that as well. So I see Delia's hand up. Delia, you have a question?
Yeah, and you can see my hand, so that's why I put it up like that. So you must get this all the time, so that's why I'm asking, how do you, and I know it's been discussed, but how do you respond in a polite but while respecting your boundaries manner to people who message you and they want to get on a quick call with you to run something by you, or to, give them some sorts of advice on things? Like I get this for my life coaching business, because I'm in a community with a lot of life coaching, life coaches for kids as well. And they say, oh, I see that you have that workshop and I just want to find out how to do that myself as well. And yeah, how do you answer even to that message that you first get, so that you sound, as I said, you respect your boundaries, but you're also not being rude, kind of thing?
Yeah. So excellent question. And we all get those, right? We all get, like, I want to pick your brain, which is why I started doing this, right? Because I was like, you know what? I get that all the time. Let me just do it for free. We'll hop on, Here are a couple of ways to do that. The first one is, because I think you have a paid program coming up, right, Delia? I think I saw you with a paid program.
Yeah.
Okay. So one thing you can do is you can just send them that link. Oh, so send them love. Thank you so much for thinking of me and reaching out, because they're reaching out to you because you're the expert. They see you as a mentor. They see you as someone who's way ahead of where they are in their business. So thank you so much for thinking of me. That is so kind. And I'm so grateful. I have this program coming up. Here's the link. I'd love for you to join. I think it'd be very helpful. So that's one way, right? Because then you're leading them into that paid. Another thing, if you don't have a paid program, another thing that you can do is just be honest. Start with love again. Thank you so much for thinking of me. I'm so honored that I came to your mind when it comes to this experience and all the skills that I have. I get this request so much, and I'm not able to favor people. So I say no to everyone, because that way I'm not favoring people. But in the future, if you'd like to go ahead, I do consult. I'm happy to go ahead and hop on a call. Here's the link to purchase a time with me. So you could do something like that as well. So those are kinds of ways. And then the third one is just like, if you don't have a paid program and you don't have a consulting one-on-one fee, you can just thank them again, but say, at this time, it's just, I'm sticking to, certain priorities of mine. I wish I had the time to help you, but I can refer you to this book that I read, or here's a YouTube channel, or here's a TED Talk that I listened to. Like you can just send them something that is of benefit, but just also, turn it down with lots of love. And I think they understand also. I think it comes across mean if you don't add that love. If you're like, girl, please, everyone's asking me, stop asking, right? Like my time is valuable too. If you come across like that, of course it's going to be harsh. But just add love and just tell them honestly, where you're at. And it's always been well received, always. Does that help you, Delia?
Yeah, thank you so much. I got like tears in my eyes and laughing and goosebumps all at the same time. So
Good,
thank
good.
you. Thank you.
All right, so I had another question that came through. It's from the same person. Based on that, would you recommend sharing knowledge and expertise, offering opportunities for discovery calls to connect with me? If interested, offer them my one-on-one services until I've built the community, then launch the membership. I would stay away from discovery calls, honestly. I would just offer your expertise on social media, or you can do gatherings like this because it's scalable. If you do one-on-one, it's not going to be scalable. You can only do one person at a time. You're very limited as to your power, the impact that you can have on multiple people. So you can definitely, I know a lot of our global members will do, we have like an accountant, for instance, and so she has like something like this once a month. Hop on, ask me your financial questions, because what it's doing, it's nurturing her list, and it's getting people to get familiar with her expertise and her knowledge. I know sometimes women say, well, I don't want to share all my expertise because then why would they hire me? They're going to hire you. We had one of our FemCity Global members a couple years ago taught an SEO class for us. And I took it with all of our other members, and it was fascinating. She taught us exactly what to do step by step. And you know what? I hired her anyway. Because why? It's not in my superhero zone of genius. It's good for me to know, but I don't have time to take that on. So even when you share everything that you've got, at the end of the day, that's not their zone of genius. So they're going to hire you anyway. So let me know if that helps and that makes sense as well. Any other questions? We have about 5 minutes left. Go ahead, Christy.
So in my case, I'm in this process, like I had said the other day, where I'm relaunching the divorce coaching and community. And one of the main things I wanted to do is in-person meetups, because I feel like that community really needs that kind of support. And so at the beginning, my initial idea is that they need so much as far as like the financial perspective, the legal perspective. Like there's a bunch of different perspectives, right? The spiritual, all of it, right? So I'm planning on bringing in different speakers to the events. And I'll do this, some will be online, some of it will be in person. I do better in person because I am that kind of person. Like I like to, and I think, and I think people, when you're going through divorce, it's very lonely. You know what I mean? So I feel like they need that, like you need your community in that moment to like rally around you. So where I just wonder, like in those initial first few meetups where you're getting people, like you said, to know you and to understand where your power is, like, but I still want to bring in speakers, like how would you recommend I structure that so that it's not like, I'm all about empowering other women and I want to help their brands grow too, but I also don't want to dilute my brand. So how can I do that in a way that it's, we're helpful to each other and helpful to the women, and yet it's still, let's say like my brand leading the way. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. So what I would do, Christy, is I would just get started. Sorry, I have the sniffles so bad. And I don't want to blow my nose on Zoom because that's gross. So what I would do is I would just start out with pick one speaker that you feel would be the most impactful in this series, right? So maybe it's a spiritual one, maybe it's a financial one, and kick it off with that speaker. I would pick a venue that would, 20 women is a really great number. 15 is also a great number. I would do it at a cost and make sure that you are making a little bit of money on that. You're not going to make a killing on the first one. You're just getting it started. So, add like $5 so that at least, per ticket. So at least you have a little bit of something coming in. That's also good energetically, right? To have like a little bit, just start stimulating that money coming in. And then, when you're having your meeting, those women, because how FemCity started, you were at our very first FemCity meeting back in 2009. So you saw how we started, and then those women start talking to other friends because they generally will hang out with other women that are going through the same thing. Usually they have someone that they know, encourage them to bring other women, and then eventually we'll start growing. I would definitely record everything that you're doing in real life events, because you can repurpose that on YouTube, LinkedIn, YouTube Shorts. Now you can get like little, snippets of it, Instagram Reels. Definitely start doing those. And you could do one a month. Eventually you could even start doing a summit, Christy, like that would be very easy for you to do, like a half-day summit where you have those speakers come in, and then you could do like the entire here are the 6 modules. We're going to do it all in one time. And then you increase the price of that. So little by little, you can start growing. And I think on your social media, because I know you mentioned this at the FemCity Miami breakfast that we had, I think in your social media, start talking about those topics individually.
You read my mind, because I literally I just downloaded like all of the modules that you're talking about. And so I have, let's say and that's what I was wondering, should I do it as a half day or should I do it as a webinar? Because I feel like for so many women, it's, when you're going through divorce, cost is everything, right? And so you're dealing with attorney's fees, and maybe, I don't know, you have to deal with I don't know, your ex isn't giving you money, right? So, a lot of the women are financially in a place where they can't really afford a lot. So they might be able to afford a $35 lunch or, happy hour or something like that. So in that kind of understanding that dynamic with that community, would you recommend doing like a half-day summit, or would you first recommend the webinar?
I would ease into it. So I think it's lighter to do like an online summit's always easier.
Okay.
That's going to be the easiest thing. And that's also going to reproduce income for you while you sleep, which I'm a huge fan of. How do you make money while you sleep? So, that's probably the easiest thing to do. And then you could actually start developing your email list, right? Because people are getting it out there. But I know you mentioned you like the feely, touchy, huggy thing. So that's why I went back to like the in real life events, but you can do that. I'm a believer in having money come through in many ways.
So maybe start with the online and then go to the in-person.
Yeah. Go with what's the American saying, like the low-lying fruit. Like you're gonna grab the ones that are like the closest, grab those first, nurture that, expand, nurture that, and then keep on expanding. Ideally, you would have modules. You would have an online summit to continue growing your email list and your followers. You'd have your Instagram Reels sharing information on all those topics. You'd have the in real life events, whether it's a breakfast or, so you'd have money coming through in multiple ways. And then you have advertisement, right? Because what divorce attorney wouldn't want to sponsor you? So you have other revenues.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. So another question came through from the same femme. Would you price it or would you do it as free in the beginning? I would do a lot more social media. That's free, sharing the information, getting them to go to your website to download a free worksheet or a free ebook or another article or a worksheet. So you can start doing that for free and start getting things to come through. And then once you start nurturing that list, then you can go ahead and start adding a price to that for sure. So awesome questions. All right. We technically went over on time, but we can do one more question if you guys want. You guys
I have one question.
Ahead,
I have one question. How are you?
How are you? Good to see you.
Good, very good. Good to see you too.
Another Miami femme.
Yes. I'm starting to get ready to pitch stores to offer them my art photography. What's one tip? Because I'll basically be doing like cold calling and all that sort of stuff. What's the best way to do it so that it doesn't seem very salesy?
What's your intention? Is it to sell them the piece or to get your brand exposure into these areas?
It's my intention is for them to have my pieces in their stores. So like I know places like West Elm, they'll have artists, like local artists, and have a section for whatever it is that they make, and they'll sell it in the stores. So I want to do something similar.
I love it. Okay, so and I know you personally, so I know your energy in real life is really good and super yummy. So I think
thank you.
You should get together and I know you're super creative also. I would put together something that is physical that you can leave with them. And I would go in person to the West Elm store. I would ask to meet with the person. As a matter of fact, I will reach out to Equinox because I literally just told them So they need to have artwork on the walls. They're supposed to be.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, when I go back to them, I will ask them. But I think in person is going to be really good for you.
Okay.
And leaving something, maybe it's a portfolio of like 3 of your favorite pieces, something
Yes.
that's going to, there's a science behind giving someone something physically.
That they can touch it, so they want to buy it.
Touch it, and they feel like you've given them a gift, and they're going to feel like they kind of subconsciously owe you something. I think that would be the most powerful thing. And starting with the people that you have connection with, like Whip and Dip in South Miami. What's that store in South Miami called? The Shop, or the I don't know, up and down Miracle Mile too. Like those small businesses, I think you're gonna have a better success rate, because then you can take that portfolio to the bigger ones and say, here are the places where my work is featured. Here's
that's a good idea.
Here's my book of business, because then they say, oh wow, you're at that store on Miracle Mile. Oh, like, oh, you're at the Equinox, whatever. Oh, okay, those things those things matter. That's why the press and the PR and all that stuff, at the end of the day, like, does it really matter? Yeah, it kind of does.
It does.
Yeah. Does that help you?
That does. That's very helpful. Yeah,
Good.
because I was considering doing it as an online thing, but I do see the point that having something physical has more effect. So
Yeah.
I appreciate
Make it like spectacular. You know what I mean? Like, be super creative, because that's going to be like, because they're going to share it. Oh my God, look at this. Oh, it's so great. And look, it's beautiful. It's gorgeous. And she's so nice. And can you also put your Instagram handle in the chat for me, please? I'm always looking for you.
Yes.
I go to tag you on things. I'm like, what's your name?
Yeah. Yeah. I just shared it on the chat.
Okay. Perfect.
Oh, I'll share it with everybody. So
yeah. Actually, yeah.
All
If
right,
you guys want to
you.
follow each other, go for it too.
Thank you.
All right. I think we're good, ladies. We will do this again next month. So please join me. I love when we have lots of friends. And again, if you're shy, you can just private message me, and then I just have them in a folder and I just read them out. And then you can join us. We're doing this again on Instagram Live, I think at 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock. And then at 2 o'clock, we have a business class on revenue streams. So that's going to be live streamed into our Facebook group for local members. So anyway, love you girls. Onward and upward.
Bye.
Thank you, Violet. Love you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.